we go. Okay, so I told you that the poem was at least based on a famous poem called Ode on a Grecian Urn. Did anybody read that or find any information about that? No? Okay, what did you find about the poem?
Well, I read the Chinese version of it.
Okay.
Understand.
A lot more. Did you read any analysis by anybody else?
Yes,
I can't find analysis.
Okay, what did you find out?
the main of the analysis is that the possessions that you have in your life, they all perish within death. But you don't be worried because with that you have contentment. So that's most important, beauty and
Truth.
truth. So, and death and life has are two of the main theme in Dickenson.
Sure. Okay, so basically they were saying that everything in life is about, this is about possessions, and you lose everything anyway when you die, that kind of thing. Okay, that's one. Did anybody over here read anything about this? No? Mayo?
It just said about truth is beauty.
Truth. Okay, so
Truth. And I think it's talking about two death function and when we are talking after death, maybe one tom is next to another. And in the last thing is that until the moth has recovered, which I think is kind of like the moth on the tom.
well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I believe, and then I'm going to let you look on the internet for analysis from other people in English, okay? And I've already done that, so I'm not going to spoil that, okay? But what I'm going to do is read this real quick, and then I'll tell you what I think it is, okay? First of all, did I go over that other poem, Ode on a Grecian Urn? Beauty and Truth, Truth, Beauty? Okay, this is based on a poem called Ode on a Grecian Urn. It means like a poem that a person saw on a Greek vase, okay? And what it is basically, it's a beautiful poem that basically says truth is beauty and beauty is truth. So the closer you are to truth, the closer you are to beauty, and vice versa. Okay, the most beautiful people and things in this world are the things that are true to themselves, or that are absolutely true. Death is a truth. We will all die. And that makes that beautiful, is what the poem argues. Okay. Some of the best mathematical equations are beautiful because they tell the truth. Pi goes on forever, at least we think. We can't prove that it doesn't go on forever. Maybe it does end at some point. People think they can prove it, but until they can actually come up with a number where it ends, it's not proven. It's beautiful in that sense. It's true to itself. This is a very weak form of that, but if you ever ask somebody like why they like something or something, usually it's because it's pure. We like things that are pure. Even things that are ugly, if they're truthful, are beautiful. You may see a sunflower, and you may say, that's a beautiful sunflower. And the next night, it's thundering and lightning and raining, and the wind is strong, and you see the sunflower the next day, and the stem has been broken, it's kind of hanging, half the leaves and stuff are all over, the pollen kind of things are all over the place, it's beat up. And yet, it's still true. What happened to it is what happens in life. It's a truth. And it still can be beautiful. There's a famous American movie called, is it called American Dream or something like that? And there's these strange characters, and it's kind of a sad story about life. And each of the characters is really unhappy in their life. And one of the characters, though, is the young boy, and not a young boy, a young man, about your age. And one of the things he does is he takes pictures of people. He takes videos. And one of the best videos in the whole movie is this video where it's a small wind. There's a small wind going in. It's in front of a garage. You know, garage, where you park your car? You know, just like a garage door in front of a house. And there's just a bag. And the air picks up a little plastic bag. Ladies? The plastic bag's like floating around just for like maybe 5-10 seconds. And he takes a film of it. And in the movie, you see it a couple times, and there's something almost haunting about it, I mean, like almost scary, but it's actually very beautiful. Very simple and yet very beautiful. It's just an ugly plastic bag in front of an ugly garage door, in an ugly little house, normal, nothing special, and yet this little bag floating around, he captures something in it. And it's something that's captured in the movie. I'm not going to ruin the whole movie. You'll have to see it yourself. But I'm sure they have Chinese subtitles and everything for it if you can't listen to it in English. But it's a beautiful movie. It's called, An American Dream, An American Mind, or something like that. I'll find out and I'll tell you later on. But in any case, you can find beauty in things that we normally would think are ugly. This mouse. It's been used for quite a while. Look, I mean, the paint's peeling off it, but it still works. It still works. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in that way. It still works. I can use it. Okay? It's saying that this garbage can is full of garbage. It's ugly. It's used stuff. But it's life and it's beautiful. It's still beautiful. You can find something beautiful out of this. You can find something beautiful in anything as long as it's true. And that's what this poet wrote hundreds of years ago, named Keats. Okay? Now she's taking this, and she's, I think, playing in her own way on it. And what happens is she's in America. Keats was in England. And she's doing a little bit of an American version of this. And saying, well, how can I take this and apply it to what I believe? And I don't think she buys in the whole truth is beauty and beauty truth. She doesn't actually believe that. I think she actually believes that he's overstating it. Because the way he says it is that like truth is beauty and beauty is truth. They're almost like gods or something. You know, these amazing ideals that we have. And I think she kind of makes a little bit of fun of it. And not only that, but just kind of says they're not as important as we're making them. Okay? And what she does is this. She says, I died for beauty, but was scarce adjusted in the tomb when one who died for truth was laid in an adjoining room. He questioned softly why I failed. For beauty, I replied, and I for truth. Themselves are one. We are brethren, he said. And so as kinsmen met at night, we talked between the rooms until the moss had reached our lips and covered up our names. All right. Here's what I think. I think it says there are two people that died. And they're laid down in their graves in different rooms. Tombs, I think, basically like graves above the ground. Okay? But anyway, these two bodies are put in the graves. They could be in urns, they could be in under the ground, whatever. But they're not together. Truth is beauty. Beauty is truth, is the poem. She's saying truth and beauty are in adjoining rooms. They're not put together. She's separating them. So that's the first thing I think she does. Is she's saying, no, there is truth without beauty and beauty without truth. There are things that are ugly that are true. And there are things that are beautiful that aren't true. Is what she's saying. That it's not so pure as what Keats was saying. Although Keats is beautiful. And then she says, basically, she doesn't say, okay, he questions softly. So the one who's truth questions softly, why I failed for beauty, I replied. He doesn't say, why did you die? He says, why did you fail? Okay, so she's implying, she's saying, you didn't die, you failed. You didn't succeed. So she's giving a negative thing to them for dying. And she's saying basically, you get truth and beauty sitting across from each other in two different rooms, and they start talking to each other. And he says, oh, he says, I died for truth, and we are one. We are brethren. We're brothers. We're like brothers. And yet they're still separated. And they talked, and so as kinsmen, like family, we met that night, and we talked between the rooms. Okay, now when she says that night we met, we talked between the rooms, how long did they talk? How did they talk? Yeah, but how did they talk? There were two dead people. Moss didn't cover their mouths. Moss covered their names. So where do you see the name on a person who's dead? Yeah, on their gravestone, maybe on the wall, maybe something like that, right? So what happened was, when the moss covered up whatever was written about them, they no longer could talk. They were no longer important, they were no longer a truth, and they were no longer beautiful. Does that make sense? Okay? So as long as somebody can still see your name and read your story, because a lot of times some of the tombs and stuff will have the story of who you are, you can talk about beauty and truth and all these things. But as soon as that moss covers you up, you're forgotten. Nobody remembers you. Does that kind of make sense? And that's what she's saying. She's not literally talking, all right? But as soon as the moss comes up, and you know what moss is, right? Yeah. The green stuff that grows. Yeah, okay. All right. And I think her thing is saying this, not that truth and beauty are important, and not that there isn't some truth about truth and beauty being similar. But I think she's saying you're taking it way too seriously. If you live in the real world like Emily Dickenson did, but Emily Dickenson didn't live in the real world. Remember, she lived in her own little world, kind of, at least we think. And by her writing, you could tell she lived in her own world. I think she's saying, you know what, you're taking this all too important. You're taking this way too important, I'm sorry. It's not like that. What you need to do is basically understand that once you die, it's okay. It's okay. Truth, beauty, all this stuff, it's okay. That's all going to go away. When you die, you die. And it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing. You'll talk for a little while, people will remember you until the moss covers up your name. But there's nothing scary about it in here. She's not saying it's horrible or anything's bad or anything like that. I think she's just taking this whole ideal that Keats had and knocking it down. Now, other people say other things. Some people read what you say and say, like, it's all about death and not being able to take what you want with it. It's kind of what I said. Other people say that, I don't know, I'm not going to say everything because what I want you to do is I want you to look for yourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you approximately, let's say, 20 minutes. Is that enough? To look for, like, 2 sources or 3 sources, just to look for small web pages or something where this is discussed. What I would say is, I would tell you, type in like 449 Dickenson analysis, and you'll find some papers. They'll be written by either high school students, they'll be written by some college students, some will be just a poetry website that says like, well, you know, we think this is what it means. You'll notice many of them say, we think this is what it means, or this is what I think it means, because they don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure. All right? So go ahead and look for that. I'll give you 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll talk about what you find. And I'm going to put the air back on because it's getting a little warm in here. I saw some of my fan installs. There we go. Any questions? You know what you're supposed to be doing? Yay! Okay, so look up analysis of this poem and tell me what other people have told you about this poem. You have 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.